4:45 in the morning, Monday morning. Been to work, and my foster daughter Ria and her brother Kyle and their friend Steph, they came to keep me company and help with the equipment because I'm struggling a little bit being on my own. I'm all right while I'm with friends or doing something, but I recognise that the most vulnerable moments for me are being on my own and thinking too much. What I have to do is to let the memories go, to let the longing and the hope go. And I was feeling pretty awful yesterday after crying all night, and but I've had my friend Dale here after he finished working quite close by. So Ria and Dale have just left at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm flagging a bit. I've got a friend coming up from Devon tomorrow, Megan. Megan is someone who reached out to me through the Froglet Diaries last year, and she's such a sweetheart. She's really doing well, and she's coming up. She was initially coming up to see me and my ex, but she's coming up with a friend just to stay for 2 days, and I think that's really good strategy. I was wanting to tell you about something, an exercise that I was doing to try and focus away from the thoughts that are running through my head about not being lovable, not being worth anything. Because when somebody hurts you and harms you, and when you realise that, you've been let down, it does trigger, I would say, feelings of well, why aren't I, why is nothing that I've done recognised as being loving and giving? Am I over functioning? Have I tried too hard? Am I perceived as being as much of a doormat as the other women? Am I ugly? Am I not desirable? All these things go through your head, and you think about the person that you love, and you think of how you feel about them, and you couldn't possibly do it to them. You just couldn't bring yourself to hurt them or harm them like that, and betray them, and look at anybody else, because the feelings for them are so deep. And I would look at my ex, and I would just, sometimes he would do something and I'd feel really proud of him and just be smiling inside looking at him, and then other times I'd be looking at him thinking, you're so cruel and unemotional and paralysed emotionally. Your response is so abnormal for the situation, and what have I missed here? But the one constant throughout the relationship, the real relationship with my ex, is women and sex. There seems to be some kind of urge for him to move on. By the time he realises he's falling in love, he's already running away. And that the words "Feel" by Robbie Williams, when he sings that song, I know he identifies with it from the way he sings it. And he wants love in his life, and he's got fire running through his veins. But life and his own choices seem to have made him jaded and give up easily on something. And when an emotional need is required, he blocks it out and withdraws. And instead of then dealing with it, He looks externally, he looks outside for the next fix instead of looking towards your partner and saying, you know what, I need help to work this through, or you know what, I can identify with you what you're going through. He looks for another woman, for another exciting dalliance, for the chase, for a sexual fix. And it's all, I really believe it's not that he's a bad person. I think he's very weak, and I think he's very, very easily led by himself, maybe some of his friends. He's mentioned his friends encouraging him to do things which helped break the trust further. And there's no remorse. He just can't feel, he can't see something that he's done and think, oh my goodness, do you know what? That's awful. I should never have done that. You know, that's why things are so bad. And try and make it right. He will say, that's me. Don't like it. Tough. And, you know, you can't feel safe with somebody who can't give you anything to work with or communicate, or, you know, he can communicate when things are going easy, but he can't communicate when there's a need for him to be standing up by your side, protecting and protective, loyal. The only persons he can do that with are his immediate family. He would never let anyone treat his sister the way he's treated me. He would never say anything to his sister the way he spoke to me. He sees his sister, for instance, as a safe haven, possibly because she loves him so much that she doesn't rock the boat. She's not a female that will expect or demand or ask him to give of himself in that way. With family, it's like, whatever you do, I'm here for you and I love you, and it's, you know, it doesn't matter what you do. When in fact, that's a bit like, you know, you wouldn't do that with your child, would you? If you're trying to encourage your child to be a good person and grow up, you'd give them boundaries and limits, and you'd say, do you know what, I can quite understand why that happened, because when you did that, that wasn't a good thing, not for you, not for them. But unfortunately, he doesn't have any limits or any boundaries. And of course, you know, he doesn't give himself any. So when, you know, the woman says, you know what, this is how far you should be going, that's not acceptable. He can't do that, because he sees you then as the enemy, demanding too much, you know. And, you know, faithfulness, loyalty, showing love in little ways is so important. It's the food of nourishment for love. Your relationship can't survive if somebody doesn't come and touch you out when you're upset, or say, are you okay? You know, I'm here for you. Or, that wasn't very good. You know, you must be upset. You have to, you know, be authentic as a person. And when somebody would rather, you know, go find the answers elsewhere, maybe in another woman, maybe sexually, maybe at the pub, instead of with someone who should be their best friend and be able to talk about anything with. If you can share bodily fluids with somebody, you can share your thoughts and have conversations and talk about things and trust them. And although, you know, trust was a huge issue for us, I don't think he trusted me to actually sit down and let himself really go with. And so the walls that were put up shut me out. And he's done further that because his low self-esteem, because I've said, you know what, it's not okay to do what you've done. It's not okay to be doing what you're still doing. And you're hurting us, you're hurting me. And, you know, I'm terrified of this relationship. You know, all the good is being obliterated by these issues, these same issues that are coming up. I need you to show some love and show some, you know, some strength of character. And I know I need you to protect me from your ex. I need you to say, if this is really over and I'm committed to you, then I'm happy to make that known. Couldn't do it. It's too much to demand of someone like him. And the words that he used against me, and ringing his sister to sort of like say, do you know what, she's done this, she's done that, and you know, she said this, she said that, she's done this, she's abused me, but I just stood there and my heart shattered into pieces. And I just knew that no matter how much I thought he loved me, he'd never stand by me. He'd never stand up for me. He'd never protect me. And I just knew that I had to protect myself and go. And, you know, the truth, when it's told in a way to portray something not quite as it is and, you know, make it out as though he's in trouble for nothing. When the reasons, you know, he was in trouble were very, very serious issues. Issues of betrayal and trust, and, you know, could go on talking forever about it, but it wouldn't make anything change. But at the moment, you know, my feelings are being worked through. And to know that I was replaced so quickly in his affections and his focus, and it just seems that all the words that were spoken, all the actions, all the effort was for nothing in some ways. Although I know I've learnt a lot and I've benefited a lot, and there are some things to be grateful for, there's this contradiction inside me where the sadness sometimes overwhelms the positivity. And I know I have to get to a place of positivity and zero information going through my head. And that is something that I'm working on. It's a concept where you have to go back to zero, where the messages that you're giving out are not negative, are not harmful, are not questioning all the data that's going through your head, and your mind is blocking your inspiration and your spirit. And that is something that over the next weeks I'm going to be concentrating on, getting my spirits raised, stop thinking about him, stop worrying about him, stop loving him, stop caring about him, and putting the responsibility of all those feelings and all that data back into myself. And the Froglet Diaries will be ending, as I've said, with these last few videos of the end of the love between Froglet and the Frog Prince. And a new channel will be set up which will be called the Phoenix Chapters. And the Phoenix Chapters will be about rebirth, about growth, about coming from the ashes of something, and becoming vibrant and alive and singing beautiful songs and making beautiful music and having good thoughts and being the person that I am inside, and being authentic and real, but in a much more centered way. And he will not be a part of that, and that's why I wanted to set up a new channel, because I don't want to focus on his needs, his reasons, his excuses, his issues. I want to focus on issues that are important for me now to focus on. And I hope with your help that I will stay afloat. I seem to be dipping a little bit when I'm on my own, too much time to think, So like I say, keeping busy. I've got some amazing friends who will see me through. And again, thankful. I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful. And I love you all. And I love the me I'm going to become, because I know I'm in there too. And I know I am going to rise from the flames of this, and I'm going to fly. And I hope that's soon. I really want to fly. Thank you for all the support.